This game is about open diagonals and king safety. So it starts with the French. The name is not important, but the structure is important. So for white, I play usually like this with the pawn on c3, and I always try to avoid this kind of setups, but somehow end up playing it anyway. So the game goes on. White castle, black castle. White has a nice pawn structure in the center on the queen side. The pin is a little bit annoying, so let's see how the game goes. Trying to kick the bishop away, bishop goes back, but keeping the pin active, which is of course something that you want to do. Now pinning again the black knight as well. So the idea is to defend the knight on the f6 with the knight. Okay, so you can see here the position is almost symmetrical. The difference is the bishop location and the pawn on c3 versus the pawn on c7. Okay, so kicking the bishop away, going back. Now the position is completely symmetrical. Okay, so this is asking for a bishop trade. Black says no. You have to take, which I do. Okay, then attacking the bishop, bishop goes back. I'm not gonna comment on every move of the game, because what matters is the end. So takes, and now queen to c2, attacking the pawn on g6. Of course, the pawn goes up. Okay, bringing the rook to an active line, to an active file. Okay, black does the same, trades. King goes up in order, to give some flexibility to the rook on the first rank, and also to, if it's necessary, to protect the knight and the pawn on h3. Okay, so the knight comes to e4. I decided to trade, attacking the pawn on d4, sorry, on e4, and black defends with the knight. There's a triple attack now with the queen, with the knight, and the rook. Black defends it, and what I mentioned in the beginning of this video, you can see the b2 g8 diagonal is open, and black does not have any light square bishop to protect against any kind of attacks. Okay, so trying to put the knight on e5, where it will be very good piece, protected, and not being able to be kicked away by any of the black's pawns. Okay, and here I think it's a mistake, because black just loses the pawn, but no problem. White can also make mistakes, which actually happens in the next move. So now this allows a fork, very nice fork, which is again is not losing, but then white gives away, in my opinion, a lot of advantage. So there's a nice check on f4. Rook has to take, otherwise the queen on e2 is gone. Okay, and this is the idea where I wanted to come. Well, so you can see here that black is up on exchange, and with a pretty good position, 2-pawn island. White is far away from getting a good compensation, like in the form of a pawn. The central pawns could be exchanged and stuff like that. So this is the idea. There's a nice check, and the only way for black to continue this game is to shuffle the king between g8 and h7, and the only way for white to continue is to keep on giving checks, because there's no way black could win. I mean, white could win, and also if black does not continue in this way, then they will lose. For example, after this check, if the king goes to h8, then there's a nice check on g6 with the knight, and then forking the king and the queen. And if the king goes to f8, which happened in the game, it's the same idea, but in this case not only there's a fork with the king and the queen, but also this is checkmate, because it's checkmate. So that was it. That was the point I wanted to illustrate. And always remember, you don't have to be a grandmaster, or you don't even have to have any title at all to be able to produce some nice games, some particularly nice moves, ideas, setups. Just have to observe them. That's all.